Hi everybody, welcome to Valentine's Day Yoga. So we're going to start by sitting onto our block or onto the floor. I like to sit on the block because it just means my hips have a little bit more room for those knees to widen. Now we all just came out of a high intensity interval training, got that heart rate up. So we want to bring some stillness and some quiet back to the ground. And a quick way to do that, and an easy way to do that, is through alternate nostril breathing. So we're going to do a little bit of that. But I just want to tell you a little bit about tonight's practice. It is Valentine's Day. So I created a yin program to open our heart, to love our heart. So first one, we want to think that we're open and we're ready and willing for love. Now that love is about loving ourselves first and foremost, right? Increasing our self-acceptance of ourselves and having confidence. So that's where we want to bring maybe that intention to your mat tonight. So let's start by taking your index finger and your thumb, your ring finger. Thumb and ring finger are going to do the work. So curl your index finger, your pointing finger, and your middle finger. So take your thumb and close your left nostril. We're going to inhale 4 times just up our left. So inhale it up. Now use your ring finger, close that nostril, exhale out. Inhale up that nostril. Close it off. Exhale out the opposite side. So try and slow it down. Inhale it up. Close off. Exhale the other side for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale through there. Close it off. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale it up. Exhale it out. All right, bring your hands onto your knees and you're going to drop your head over to the right. Take your left hand out nice and long. Feel a nice stretch in your neck. Keep your breath nice and slow, nice and calm. Come back up to center. We're going to go back to that alternate nostril breathing, but use your other hand now. Now, if it's too awkward for you to use your ring finger and your thumb, pick whatever finger you want. Just don't pick your nose. All right, close off one nostril. Inhale up. Close it. Exhale out of the other side. Inhale through that. Close it. Exhale the other side. Inhale up. Close it. Exhale out nice and slow. Inhale it up. Close it. Exhale it all the way up. Hands back on your knees. Let's take your next stretch. So take your left ear to your right hand, opposite arm out. Just connect to your body. Maybe close down your eyes. Find a little bit more stillness and depth. We're not going to be doing too many shapes tonight. We're going to be using a yin practice, so holding them a little bit longer. All right, let's bring our hands back, and let's just make some nice circles with your head. Go super slow. And when you think you're going slow, go even slower. So do 2 one way. back super, super slow. Back the other way. Then we're going to kick the legs out, take your arm lock, off the block, and we're going to transfer ourselves to a child's pose. So in child's pose, you can pick whether you want to be regular blocks, or you need your 2 blocks. You can pick whether you want to keep the toes together and take it into a wide-legged child's pose, or come into your standard child's pose where your knees are in line with your hips. Either way, you're going to sink your glutes back. Now bring your blocks so that they're somewhat close by. And then walk your hands forward, drop the forearms down to the ground, and drop your head down. Now this is where you're going to bring your block. So you can bring the block down, bring your forehead down to the ground. Down on top of the block. Now the best spot for it is right at your hairline. Where you want to sit that head onto that block. And sink your glutes down, sink your chest down. Let everything soften. And breathe. Stay connected to your breath. If your mind starts to wander, tell it I'm breathing, inhaling, and I'm exhaling. So as I was saying tonight, while you're there breathing in, just going to tell you a little bit more about our heart chakra. So when that's out of balance, we can be angry, we can be jealous, we can be sad, and just not connected. Also be intimidated. So we want to rebalance that so that when it's balanced, we can be willing to love, we can have compassion, we can have that self-acceptance. So as you're sinking your glutes down and sinking your heart down, say to yourself, I'm open to love, I'm open to acceptance. Connect to your heart. And take a few more breaths here. Then I'm just going to get you to move the block a little bit out of the way. And then walk your hands over to the left. Now still keeping your glutes and your hips in line. Walk your hands as far to the left as they can get. And then concentrate your breathing coming from the right side. So your arms are to the left. Breathe through the left side of your body. Feel your lungs expand and soften. Expand and soften. Couple more breaths. And then slowly walk your hands across your mat. You know, pick up your head. Take your hands to the other side. Sink back into your glutes, into your hips. Drop your arms, drop your head. Breathe out of the left side of your body. And sink. One more breath. And let's go back to center. Soften through your arms, but reach your arms forward, then soften them. Drop the forehead down. Sink the glutes down.
Now for our next few breaths, let's bend at the elbows and bring your hands behind the back of your head. Joining your palms, joining your fingers. And take nice big inhales. Fill up your lungs. Exhale with a big sigh. And then we'll bring the hands back down to the mat. And you're going to come up into a tabletop position. So now you're going to leave your blanket kind of handy. That close. We're going to move into what we call swan position. So let's take that, set that up first. So take your right leg back. Now some people like to start up into a down dog. So you can take it up and across. But we're nice and warmed up from our Tabata. So bring that knee, so the right knee behind the right wrist. And then your right ankle by your hip. Lock that knee back. This is where you might want your blanket to slide to bring it home. So you're into like a pigeon pose. You're going to walk the hands down to the ground and hang out here. Before you get too comfortable, you can bring a block close by. So I've got my right knee behind my right elbow. Now I'm going to take my right hand and thread it through my left hand. So we're threading the needle and doing swan at the same time. You can bring your head down onto your block. Now you can also use your other block to stick underneath your right hip or your right buttock to give it a little bit of support. And we hang out. Breathe. Sink. We soften. So a nice stretch for the shoulder. Nice stretch for the glute and the hip. Now, if everything's feeling good there, you want to make it a little bit more of a heart opener. Take your left hand and bring it behind your back and hook it around your waist. And then let everything sink again. It might be a bit too intense, so be respectful. You can always bring that hand back down. A few more breaths. Then on your next breath, we're just going to unthread the needle. If it's threaded, push that block away. Bring your hands onto your forearms. We'll hang out here for a few breaths. As you walk your hands towards your body, you'll press your upper body up and kick that leg back. Take yourself off the blanket. Now, if you want, you can keep the blanket and bring both knees onto it. We're going to go into melting heart. So you can fold your blanket and have both knees onto it. Bring both blocks in front of your mat. Now, you're going to keep them up in the air. Bring both hands, forearms, and elbows onto your block. Drop your head down. And then really start to focus on dropping your chest forward. Now you may want to move the blocks up a little bit more. You may not want to use the blocks, but it's not a child's pose. So the glutes stay up into the air. You're melting your heart down to the right. And you're breathing. With each breath, your chest and your heart is getting closer to the ground. More breath. And we'll slowly lift the head, walk the hands back towards our body. I'm going to take that swan over to the other side. So perhaps move the leg or go inside. And you're going to kick the left leg back and then bring it up so that your knee, is in line with your left knee, in line with your left hand. Drop that blanket down onto the knee if it feels good. Uncurl those toes and walk that leg, that right leg back. Then down we come on the forearms. You can drop your head if it feels good. It softens through your shoulders, let your upper body collapse. Give into it. So again, you can take it, if you want, you take that block and bring it underneath your hip, underneath your glute to give it some support. Now we're going to thread the needle the opposite way. So take your left hand, thread it through your right. You can use the other block as a pillow. And sink. It's entirely up to you whether you want to use the block as the pillow or not. Once you're there, find some stillness, find your breath. Now, as we did on the other side, you can stay right here, or you can take that right hand and bring it around. Open up your heart, open up your chest a little bit. Hook it behind, either on your lower back, or hook it right down your waist, whatever feels good for you. But you still want to keep your hips aligned. Got lots going on in our body here, so just try to give into it. Feel your body. Don't worry about how do I look, am I doing it right? How's it feel? Wiggle into it, settle into it, soften it. One more breath. Undo our thread if you're threaded, and come on to your forearms. You drop your head down to the ground, you can bring it back onto a block. We'll lift our head, walk your hands towards your body, and let's bring that leg back out. And this time we'll go into a wide-legged child's pose. So no locks, toes touching, big toes touching. Walk those knees nice and wide. Sink down into your glutes. Walk your hands forward, drop your head down to the ground. Let your chest, let your belly sink to the earth. And on your next breath, I want you to start to drag your nose forward along your mat. Drag your arms forward, drag your body forward so that you're going to come right down onto your belly, and both legs are going to be nice and long. And you can wiggle side to side of those hips, and maybe let the feet fall away from one another. Perhaps the heels are pointing towards each other. Just find that natural spot in the bottom of your feet where to fall. Then bring your arms by your side with your elbows underneath your shoulders. And we're going to lift up into a little Sphinx pose. So press into your forearms here. Now watch your head and neck stay in line. So you're not looking up and you're not looking down. And you're pressing into your forearms and pressing your pelvic bone into the mat. So big back bend here, but we're scooting that heart forward. Got lots of love happening here. Lots of heart. And then soften. So be respectful of your lower back. We want to create space. But we want to listen to our body and give it the space when it asks and when it's ready for it. Soften the shoulders. More breaths. Slowly lower your body all the way down. Stack your hands on top of one another. Come down, putting the forehead on top of your hands. And take a nice big breath and a nice big exhale. Let everything go. Now let's take the right hand and bend it so that our elbow is in line with our shoulder and our fingertips are down towards the ground. So you can leave it there into a bent, kind of like a bent arm. If it feels good, I want you to play with it first. You can take your arm out into a T, but let's start with the bent arm. And then you're gonna roll over. So take your left leg and bring it up and over. So you're kind of on top of your shoulder, doing a little shoulder stretch, and your chest is starting to come up and around. That left hand comes up to the sky and then drapes over your back. Find that hollow in your back, open up your chest. Now, as I said, you can keep that arm bent, or if you want to play with it, bring it into a T and roll over onto it. Whatever feels good for you. Each side of your body is going to be a little different. Get a nice shoulder stretch here. Chest opener. Your next inhale, let's bring that foot back down. Realign your body flat on your mat. Stack your hands on top of each other. Bring your forehead down. Take a nice big inhale. And a giant exhale. Big sigh. Let everything soften, get heavy in your mat. Let's take that chest open to the other side. So again, bent arm or straight arm. So bent, so the shoulder and the elbow are in line, hand flat on the ground. Using your right hand now, pushing your body up and over. Being respectful, playing with it. Do you like your arm bent or do you like your arm into that T? What feels best? And then once you're there, take the right hand up towards the sky. Bring the palm away, open up your chest. Find the hollow of your back. And then settle in. Nice breaths, nice deep breaths. And hold it a little longer. Hand your hand behind your back, bring it back up. And then roll back onto your belly. Bring both hands underneath your shoulders and press yourself up just into a little baby cobra. So squeezing your elbows together, lifting up just a tiny little bit. And then press yourself back up into a child's pose. So swing. Take those glutes all the way back. Reach your arms towards the front of the mat. Big stretch for the upper back. Shoulders, big sink for the glutes. One more big exhale. And then we're gonna meet right back up onto the table or onto your knees. We're gonna be flipping over, but you're going to need both of your blocks. So we're gonna come into a supported fish. So if you know what that is, feel free to sink right in. But if you don't, you're going to make a T with your blocks. So the long T is going to be coming, T like this, okay? So the long T is gonna be coming into your shoulder blades. The short top of the T, the cross is going to be for your head. So you want to line those up on your mat, grab your blanket, and just drape your blanket over your feet and lower legs. And then lie back onto your block, but not too low. You want the shoulder blades to be up on the shoulder blades, and then the head to be up on the head to be on the top block. Now you've got your blanket, so the knees can be bent to start, and you bring your arms into a T. So really opening up the chest here. I'm going to take us through a couple of variations over the next minute or two. So sinking here, soften through your shoulders, soften those hips, soften your belly, your chest, your eyes, your cheeks. Few nice big
quiet breaths here. You can stay right here. I'm going to take both legs nice and long. So you can still keep yourself kind of covered. But I want you to take each heel to the outside corner of your mat and let your feet follow in. So soften your toes. Soften your ankles. Soften your thighs. Soften your belly. Soften your ribs. Soften your shoulders. Soften your fingers. Maybe your fingers curl in towards your palms. Maybe they stay open, but they're soft. Soften your throat. You can take a nice big swallow. Soften your cheeks. Soften your eyes. Now you have the option of staying right here, or it's going to be a little bit more intense, bringing the arms up and overhead. So it's a big stretch for the body. Notice the difference in your chest, arms up overhead, shoulders will come up off the ground. Now let's think about softening the forearms, softening the elbows, softening the shoulders, soften your chest. More breaths. Your arms are up overhead, bring your arms down by your side. Bend your left knee, bring your left foot flat on the ground. Bring your right knee, bring it flat onto the ground. And then here, to acknowledge your practice, to acknowledge the efforts and care that you gave to your body tonight. Bring our hands and our palms together, thumbs together, palms together. Bring your thumbs to your forehead or to your third eye. Namaste. Thank you everybody for practicing with me this evening. Feel free to stay exactly where you are, or we're done and you get some fuel into you. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's